and welcome to Sunshine Acres. I'm Kara and today I'm going to be making cold process soap using column molds, which I have never done before, so it'll be an experiment. So these I got from Brambleberry. I get all sorts of things there. They don't come with these little clips. Woo! Okay. So the idea, the shape is a star, and the idea is that we're going to make the cold process soap and we are going to pour it into the star. And then eventually we'll make a log of soap and lay this in the log about a week from now. We make this first and then we'll put this in a soap. So when you cut the soap in the log into bars, you're going to see a little cross section of the star. So I thought that sounded really cool and I want to try it and I hope it works. I read somewhere that people had trouble with these leaking and to use binder clips. So I'm going to do that just in case. Well, not really. It's more of an experiment because I'm not going to clip this side. So I'm going to see if it's any different on this side and that side. So we'll see. First time, hopefully it works. And if it doesn't, then we learned a lesson and we'll try again. So we have a star, and then I also have a moon. So you get a theme, celestial here. So we're going to do a star and a moon, and then next week I will do the put those in the log of soap, and hopefully it'll turn out really cool. When I do the soap, it makes 2-pound recipe. I probably could do a 1-pound recipe, but I normally just do 2, and then they'll be leftover. I'm not sure how much this is going to take since I haven't done it before, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be leftovers. So I'm just going to prepare these snowflake molds because we're doing Christmas soap. So this would be a nice gift for, and I'm not sure how many leftovers I'm going to have. So if you watched my other soap video, Making Soap with Kara at Sunshine Acres, you will have seen some of this before. I'm going to put some glitter, blue in one and silver in the other, in the bottom of these molds, and then pour the soap on top, and then they'll have a nice little sparkly finish on top. So these I'm just going to get prepped first, since when I start making the soap I'm going to be busy and I want those just ready there. So I'm just going to brush a little mica. These are micas in the top of the snowflakes, and then that will be ready to go later. And yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how much is going to be left over, so I am not sure how many I need. Extra is better though. I'm sure this is enough. So I have my soap molds prepped. Have the glitter in the bottom of each of them. Actually, I shouldn't have set those aside yet. So I have one. We did a blue mica in the bottom. And the other one I did a silver mica in the bottom, so that, well, that will be the top of the soap. So those are ready to go. Just have those set aside. And now we're going to start making our cold process soap. Again, you can get more information, more details from my other video. But a brief rundown of what we're going to do is we are going to mix together lye and water, sodium hydroxide lye. There's other types you can use, but that's what we're going to use for our cold process soap. That's going to get dissolved in water, and that's going to heat up, and we're going to set that to the side. And then we are going to mix all of the oils that we're going to use for this recipe. For this recipe, I have coconut oil, olive oil, mango, butter, and avocado oil. So those are going to get mixed together. And then the oil solution and the lye solution will mix together to make your soap, and that will react. So we are going to start with the lye solution because it's going to get really hot and it's going to need to cool down to 110 degrees. Now when you work with lye, you have to be very cautious. So I'm going to use safety glasses. It's very basic. It can burn your skin and it can burn your eyes. You should probably use gloves if this is your first time doing this. I just prefer to just keep it off my hands, and my hands aren't very sensitive anyways. So we are going to always start Start by weighing out our water. And for this recipe, we need 10 ounces of water. Now, I've done this with tap water and distilled water. I've read it's better to use distilled water. This is distilled water, but it works with tap water too. I've had no issues using tap water. I mean, there may be, if you have really poor water quality, you might be concerned about it, but I've had no issue, and we have well water. So there's our 10 ounces of water. And this recipe calls for 4.8 ounces of lye. By the way, I'm using this book, the Everything Soap Making book, and you can find all sorts of books on this, but I am doing a 2-pound batch, 32 ounces. So you definitely do not want to touch this lye. Oh, I might have exactly enough in this jar. Oh my gosh, I do. 4.8. I thought I might have to open the other jar, but I do not. So that's good. We're going to set that out of the way. And we are going to dissolve the lye in the water. Always, always add the lye to the water. Never add the water to the lye. If you add the water to the lye, it can explode in your face. Don't do that. So we're going to add a little bit and stir until that dissolves. And it's going to start getting hot. You can feel on the bowl. And once that's all in solution, then we will add a little bit more. You don't want to just dump it all in at once. Just do it slowly, take your time. And you can feel the little crystals on the bottom dissolving as you stir it in. And once those are all in, you can put a little more. And then you just go on with that until it's dissolved. So all the lye is now dissolved in the water, and I'm going to take a temperature just so you get an idea here, but it gets really hot. It's probably already started to cool. We're going up, 170, 177, 180. So this is 181. Last time I made soap out here, it was warmer outside and it hit almost 200. So it gets very hot, so definitely do not want to touch that. And we are going to set that aside while we mix our oils together. And we need that lye to cool down to approximately 110 degrees. So we want to work quickly enough with our oils so that we have them ready before this is 110 degrees, because if it gets below that, you cannot heat it back up again. Well, maybe you can, I think it's dangerous, so I would not do that. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to weigh out all the oils that go in the recipe. And once those are weighed out, we are going to heat the oils up in the microwave. So I'm using a microwave safe dish, because they are going to get heated in the microwave to 110, and we will add the oil and the lye together when they're both the same temperature. So the first oil that is going to go in is the olive oil, and if I remember correctly it's 10 ounces, but let me double check. So the olive oil is 10 ounces, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. And then the next thing that we're going to add is coconut oil. And previous to this video, I stuck that in the microwave because coconut oil is a solid above 77 degrees, or below 77 degrees. I'm sorry, that's backwards. And it is not 77 degrees in our house. It's 72, I think. So it's not that warm out. Sometimes you can just sit it out in the sun and it will melt. But it's about 60 degrees out here today, so that's not going to be warm enough to melt it. You need it above 77. So I put it in the microwave and got it to be a pourable consistency. And now we need 10 ounces of this to go in. Olive oil and coconut oil are both pretty common oils in making soap. And different oils will react with the lye in different ratios. So you always need to, you can find soap calculators online or just follow the recipe and make sure that you use the right weight of each oil, or it will not fully react with the lye. And if you have extra lye left over, it can burn your skin. So you have to be really careful when you're weighing your ingredients to use what it says on the recipe. Or like I said, if you want to make your own recipe, you can look up different oils and it will tell you for each oil how much lye you need to add to it. So you're at 9, 9.6, 9.84, 10.05. And then for this recipe, I did the same one last time. It's one of my favorites. We add a couple of specialty oils. We're going to do an avocado oil and a mango butter. I think I mentioned that before, but they're just really good for your skin and makes your skin feel really nice and soft. The avocado oil and the mango butter are both 6 ounces for this recipe. Pretty sure I'm going to need to go to the next bottle for this one. And you can buy these oils online. I'm sure there's soap making places too, but I get these from the Brambleberry website too. And the more you order, you know, you're going to save money. For as you go buy a small bottle, it's really expensive. And you can see I use the really big one of the coconut oil and the olive oil, because you use those a lot. And if you buy like 7 pounds instead of a pound, you get a very decent bulk discount. The sun in here makes it a little tough to see. All right, so now we've got our 6 ounces of avocado oil. And then we are going to move to our mango butter. Again, we are at the end of a bag. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get my hands all funky and stick them in there. Might as well, because this stuff is not cheap and we do not want to waste it. So we're going to get out what we can. Obviously this is a solid at room temperature, but I don't have to try and pour it, so I'm just going to put it in there solid, because when I put it in the microwave, don't worry, I washed my hands. When I put it in the microwave, it's going to melt anyway, so that'll be fine. We are almost at 3 ounces now. Five ounces. That's going to be too much if I put all that in there. Well, I can't break that one. Dang it, I'm gonna find a smaller one. 5.67. I should have got a knife. Nope. All right, there we go. 5.96. Close enough. And I'm making a mess here. All right, so next we are going to put sodium lactate in here, just 1 ounce. And, oh no, I misspoke. Castor oil, 1 ounce. Castor oil is to help make bubbles. Oh, and I don't need to have these on anymore because I'm not working with the lye. So I'm gonna take them off. I just realized they're bothering me. So this just makes a nice lather. And you just need a little, 1 ounce for a 2-pound batch, which is just at the rest of that bottle. And the sodium lactate that I just mentioned, will you please hand me the teaspoons and tablespoons, honey? Thank you. This helps. You don't need it in every soap that you make, but when you're doing column molds or other molds like the snowflake molds, it helps it so that it doesn't stick in the mold when you're trying to get it out. So you don't want to ruin all those pretty designs. And 1 teaspoon per pound of oils. So we have a 2-pound batch of oils. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons in the batch. And I believe that'll do it. Let me double check. Yes, I've got everything in there. So now we are going to take these oils and put them in the microwave and heat them up to 110 degrees. I'm going to see where we're at with the lye to see how much time I'm working with. You don't want to get them too hot because it takes a long time to cool. But our lye is still close to 150 degrees, so we definitely have some time. So we'll be back after we go heat these oils up and get them to temperature. It doesn't take very long. Do it in like 30 seconds and then maybe like 10 seconds, another 10 seconds, and just keep checking it so you don't get it too hot. So, all right, see you in a second. All right, so my oils are up to 115. You want them around 110 to 115 degrees. But I'm going to transfer them from this glass bowl to this stainless bowl because once I add the lye, these stainless bowls are reserved for soap making only. So this goes back in the kitchen, and I do not want any things with lye in them to go back in the kitchen. So before I add the lye, I'm going to put a little bit of this pewter silver mica color into it. You can add the color after they're mixed, but once you start mixing it, it's going to get thick pretty quickly. So I don't want it to be too thick when I try and pour it in these little skinny molds, or that's going to be hard. So I'm trying to get as much done as I can prior to mixing the lye and the oils together. Because if you've watched my other video or if you've made soap before, you know that when you put them together, you're waiting until it comes to a trace where you can see a trace line on the top to know that they are reacting before you pour it into the mold. And typically you would put, most people would put some sort of scent into it. I'm going to put pine in it after I put them in the molds, maybe, because I want my leftover snowflake molds to have a scent. The little column molds, since they're just going to be a very small portion of the bars of soap when they're done, I don't care if they have a scent to them. And that the scents can sometimes make it get thick faster. So I guess my plan is to try and keep this as thin as possible for pourability for these column molds. But again, this is my first time doing it. So the plan is to wait and add the scent after the column molds are done. So I'm using this immersion blender, and I've got the mica mixed in pretty good. It looks really cool and metallic in the bowl there. But the soap probably won't turn out quite that shiny. So now we're gonna slowly add the lye to the soap. Or to the oils. We do not want to do it the other way around. And it will start to thicken up pretty quickly, but since the color's already in there, I've saved myself a step. And I just put them in these flower vases to have something to stand them up, and I got a little funnel here to help. So it's thickening up slightly, so I think I'm going to go for this. And we're going to put it in this cup to make it easier to pour. You can see already it's getting thick. That happens quickly. And we're going to do both of these guys. Let's see what happens. Well, it's going in the funnel. That's good news. Ooh, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So there's one. Yeah, if it gets too thick, it'll make little ribbons in there and there'll be air pockets, and I've had that happen with just regular soap bars before. This is already getting thick. Ooh. But yeah, I think that's gonna work out. So I'm just gonna clean up the edges of that and set these aside for now. And now we are going to move on to pouring the rest of this into our snowflake molds. And I think I'm gonna try and work quick and put that scent in there. Mix that in and pour them in the molds. So I just put some pine scent in. Seems relatively Christmassy. And now that is getting thick really fast. Hey, honey, do you want to grab me like a bumblebee mold or yeah, just pick one. I think I have enough to make a little more than this. Maybe. Yeah, we're just going to smooth those out on the top. Thank you.
Done with these guys?
Yep. No sense wasting the extra soap, so I think I have enough to make like one of these little bumblebee molds. And that'll be it. Yeah, those little column molds did not take up very much soap at all. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's always good to kind of tap these down in case there's any air bubbles in it. They should come to the top, especially since I think we got that in there when it was not too thick yet. So we will do the same with these once I get the tops all smoothed out like I like them. So we'll see. The very silvery color is quickly looking like just gray. So we'll see what it looks like when they're done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We are going to let these stay in the molds for 5 days. When I do the bar soaps, I typically only do 3 days, but I had read with the column molds, since they don't get very much air exposure to them, that they take longer to cure. And you don't want to try and open the molds before they're cured, or you're going to break off the edges of the stars or something. So yeah, we're going to let them sit there for 5 days, and then we will either add on to this video or do another video. I'm not sure which, but when we unmold them and see how this all turned out. So thanks for watching. If you liked this, click the thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day. Bye.